If I said that curriculum mapping is confusing at first, I meant what I said. Now that we reviewed our first session notes over and over again and made our first draft of curriculum mapping, I am beginning to understand how CM works. In our second session, we were focusing on the T, or transfer goal from the AMT, if you still remember that, and which was quite the opposite of what we did in our curriculum mapping because we somehow forget that CM should have been a backward design. And this is another lesson that should be remembered. Since we are focusing on the transfer goal, we are expecting to make a performance task. And I admit, though not an expert, I am quite familiar with making performance tasks, grasps, and everything because we learned it from Sir Joshua Soldivilio from our SED 58 class. What really took me off guard was my misconception of equating performance tasks as a mere application, which was terribly wrong.
Both application and transfer involves practice, but transfer involves responses to real-world concerns or situations, which application does not. So this is another point to be taken.
Another thing that should be corrected on is on making our rubrics. Before session 2B started with Sir Caballo in that morning, Friday morning, us science majors had a short meet-up on Google Meet to work on our performance tasks and rubrics. And what we did in Ruby Star is completely the opposite of what should be done when creating a rubric.
So the steps of making a rubric should have been from satisfactory to exemplary to developing and lastly the beginning. So let's use the cupcake criteria as an analogy. Satisfactory should have been the criteria where all the standards were met. And exemplary would be the toppings of the cupcake where extra efforts were made, while beginning should be the criteria where none was accomplished.
From this, I realized that there will be major changes to be done in our curriculum map as there are lots of mistakes. And now that I am beginning to understand how curriculum mapping works, I am starting my own CM, which will be used for my student teaching.